Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My Beeformation journey has been a roller coaster of emotions. It's very difficult to put into words what a journey we've actually been through. I actually I went into Beeformation just because I felt like I needed a change in my life. Over the past few years, when you put on weight, your weight tends to spiral out of control. And I actually spoke to a friend of mine, and he recommended Beeformation to me, and he said, have a look at everything on Instagram and see the results, because you'll be really impressed. And then when I first looked at the transformations that Bianca had done, to be fair, I didn't even think they were real. They just looked, in such a short space amount of time. I don't know how it's possible, but anyway, my friend, he vouched for me. I saw his transformation, and I said that it was just something I wanted to be a part of. So I got in touch with Bianca, and to be fair, I didn't expect her to respond straight away, but she did. And she even asked me, why did I want to be part of Beeformation, and it was just a factor of things, really. There's a lot that is difficult to be said in just one video, but what I'd say is just that I needed to seriously make a change about myself, because my weight was just getting out of control. But I didn't anticipate or expect to feel what I did going through Beeformation. Once I'd started Beeformation, I think after day one, I just felt like, what have I actually got myself into? It was only day one, and it felt like I've been doing it for about 4 weeks, just because the shock to my body, the shock to everything, the training that was involved. For me, it was slightly different, because when I started Beeformation, it was also Ramadan. So it was almost like I was being hit from every angle, just because everyone said to me, they would recommend me not to do Beeformation when you're fasting, because of how intense it is and what's involved, the diet that's involved. But when I actually spoke to Bianca, I think when I spoke to her and she said to me, I'm gonna tailor the plan around you because you're fasting anyway, that to me was like, wow, she's already looking to adjust her own Beeformation program for me. And it wasn't just for me, she did that for everybody. So, we had probably, I'd say, the biggest group, the biggest Beeformation group. And when you've got so many individuals, when someone tailors each plan for everyone, I just thought to myself, if she's willing to do that for me, I can't not do it, because I wouldn't say about most PTs, but when you join a program, you tend to have to adjust yourself to that program, whereas Bianca was adjusting everything for me. And that to me was like, you know what, it made me want to do Beeformation even more. There were times where when you're going through Beeformation, the weeks, and it does start to get on top of you, and it really does. After week 3 and week 4, halfway through the journey, I actually felt like I was ready to quit, because I just thought that it's too much. I've done it for a month, and although I noticed big changes, there were times where I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But then whenever I felt like that, I'd see the changes. It was always like, just when I felt like I'm done, it's very difficult. People were coming up to me and saying, we can see your changes, we can see how much you're changed, the changes that are being made. And that's when I was like, no, I can't give up. The team have always been very supportive. We've all had our own demons and our own battles that we've been fighting, and I'm sure at one point everyone's had that feeling where it's like, you know what, I just don't think I can do it anymore because it's too much. But then all of a sudden you get this new that when the new week starts, you're thinking, wow, we've already done 4 weeks, we're halfway there, we've got to carry on. And to be fair, the support you get from the group is what makes all the difference. Don't get me wrong, Bianca's always been supporting us 100%. She's always been a phone call away, a text message away, which when you've got so many people, you don't want to really feel like you're burdening her, but she's always been like, listen, if you need anything, any phone call, just anything that might be making you feel like you're ready to just give up, she's there, and then she gives you that drive, and next thing you know, you're blasting through the week. I think once Ramadan had finished, it was a massive change to my body as well, because Ramadan had just finished. I've been used to fasting and training. That was just my whole life: work, fasting and training. Then once Ramadan had finished and I'd got back into a routine, Bianca then tailored the program again for me to make sure that the change in when I'm eating is done correctly. And you know, it's just the way she put everything down to a T. I really just, you know, I couldn't fault her. She's just been so supportive. Don't get me wrong, it's not all green grass. There's a lot of hard work that's involved, and Beeformation is not for everybody, because you really have to be pushing past 100%. But everyone could do it, but it's just about if you have the mindset for it. And the mindset only comes when there's times when you want to give up, and then you have to be able to push through that. And then when you push through that and you're, you know, getting into that mode of training and getting into the routine, when you feel the benefits mostly when everyone's saying to you, well, for me anyway, when everyone was saying to me, how come you've lost so much weight so quick? And I'm just like, it's just, I couldn't really tell them. I was just like, you know, yeah, just doing a bit of training. And then I was like, nah, it's Bianca's training. And like, I think once the actual program, actually I just remembered now, halfway through the program, I remember I sprained my ankle, and when I had to tell Bianca, I felt like I was telling my mum or my auntie or sort of like my teacher that I've got to go tell them that I can't make it to school. And I remember I messaged Bianca and I said that I wasn't going to be able to, I don't know what to do because I sprained my ankle. And she was just, it was probably the funniest thing. Looking back at it now, it's funny, but at the time, you know, I'm surprised I didn't cry. But it was, you know, once I sprained my ankle, I thought, right, my journey's over now, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But, you know, Bianca actually gave me a week to rest and recover and see if the progression in my ankle was going to get any better. And if it did, then we'll continue the training. And that was a very, very difficult time for me, because you almost feel alone when everyone in the group is training and carrying on doing the things that have been set out for us, and whilst they're all doing that, I kind of just felt like I've been left alone because I couldn't do the training. I did keep up with a diet, which becomes a lot harder when you're not doing the training. So that was a very difficult time. But you know what? Bianca was just supportive. She was checking up on me like twice, 3 times a day, seeing if I was okay. I think about 2-3 days in, I was asking her if I could train, and she just said to me, no, you can't, because if you train, you're going to make it worse. We need to let it recover. You know, I had to get doctor's notes, I had to get sick notes, I had to, you know, it's worse than work. I'll be honest with you. But that was a very, very difficult time. I mean, we've all had our own demons and we've all had our own difficult moments that we've gone through, but that for me was one where I thought that, right, I think we might have to go separate ways. But you know what? Bianca was there, she pushed me through. Then the following week, after I'd come back from my sprained ankle, it was funny because I was putting in like twice the work, and everyone thought that I never sprained my ankle, but you could see the size of my ankle, it was massive. So that was another, there's been a lot of pit stops, a lot of obstacles that whilst I've been doing Beeformation, but some obstacles you don't talk about, some obstacles you can only talk about because that's the only way you can get through them. But I mean, the team's just been fantastic. Like, I'm sure we're the biggest group that she's had, but I'd say we're probably the easiest group that she's had too, because although we've had our setbacks, we've all just been working together. And I think that's a key part of Beeformation, is that although you're going through the journey alone, you're going through it with other people as well. So you have to make sure that you can all kind of work together and push each other to get through. I've had a couple of training partners as well that have really pushed me through. When I was in my final week, everyone had finished, and then I had an extra week, and that was a tough week because that was a week of when everyone's finished Beeformation and I carried on. That was a very, very tough week. But you know, big shout out to Carvey and Brandon and all these guys who kept pushing with me. Yeah, it's just, you know, the fact that although Beeformation's over, it doesn't actually finish, because you might have finished the 8-week program, but it stays with you for life. Bianca's training will stay with me for life, and you know, I'm very excited to look forward to the next chapter on what happens from here, because from here I'm going to make sure that not only do I stop now, but you know, once I achieved that milestone of finishing Beeformation, for me it was like, okay, now that I've finished this, what's my next target? And I need to absolutely smash it, because Beeformation, if you can do Beeformation, there's nothing you can't do. Seriously, there's nothing you can't do. It's an intensive program that will change your life. It changed my life for the better. I mean, the timing is perfect because now it's wedding season and I'm fitting into clothes that I never did, and you know, just feeling good. I think the biggest thing that come out of it is that it's just giving me that self-confidence again in myself, and just giving me the ability to feel like, you know what, I can do anything I want. So yeah, you know, seriously, big shout out to Bianca for everything she's done, and big shout out to the group, to everyone that's put the work in, to the studio, everybody. If I had to summarize Beeformation in 3 words, I'd have to say it's challenging, it's life-changing, but most importantly, it's rewarding, because without it, I won't be where I am today. So yeah.